Elizabeth Talbot with the Talbot Law Group, and I'm going to talk about the revocable trust. What is a revocable trust? Most people have heard the term, but they don't know exactly what it is. And it's actually a pretty simple concept. So the way I like to imagine the revocable trust is that it's like a bucket, in that it's going to hold your assets. So here's my poorly drawn bucket, and that's a revocable trust. So when you create a document called the revocable trust, it's about 40 pages long, and it looks pretty complicated and can seem pretty complicated at first. But essentially, it's just creating this imaginary bucket. What are you going to put into the bucket? So first, the main asset that most people will have in the San Francisco Bay Area is their house. So let's say we have our house. And for example, my husband and I, Matthew, we have a house in the East Bay, and we have placed that house into our trust simply by retitling it in the name of the trust, which is a little bit of a complicated process, but it really is not too hard to do, and is something a lawyer will typically assist you with. What's the next asset most people will typically place in a trust? Well, it's going to be a bank account. So the bank accounts are going to be checking, savings, and brokerage, like stock bond accounts. Not retirement accounts, but just like regular accounts that do not have beneficiary designations that you're going to place into the trust. So for example, Matthew and I, our main bank account where we keep the majority of our savings is with Vanguard. So once we created our trust and we got it signed and notarized, I went to Vanguard and I said, hi, we've created this trust, so we want to take our account and place it into the trust. And so they have a process that you go through. Some banks are a little easier than others, by which you take your bank account and you place it into the trust. The thing, it's similar with the house, but you're going to go to the county and tell them, and that's by doing a new deed. So what's another asset that will commonly go into the trust? Well, another asset that commonly goes into the trust is personal property. So that's the other main thing you'll have besides your bank accounts, your house. You know, you may have more than one house you'll put in the trust. Personal property. Now, personal property would be like, let's say you had a car that was worth a lot of money. So let's say you had a really fancy car. Let's say, you know, maybe a Maserati or something. You can actually retitle the car in the name of the trust. Now, most people aren't going to do that because most of us maybe don't have that expensive of cars, or we're going to be trading our cars out every few years. So we might just say all cars. And we're not going to actually have to retitle it. It's just going to be taken care of by the estate. And that's how most of your personal property is going to actually be handled. You're not going to be retitling rings, or you know, there's no real way in general, unless it's a very, very pricey personal property item, that you're going to retitle it, but you're going to simply place it in the trust by writing in the trust document that this item is a part of the trust. Okay, and the other main assets that people in the Bay Area generally have are retirement accounts and life insurance accounts. Life insurance is also sometimes considered an asset. Well, it is an asset if you have some kinds, but so we have these are our other two main types. And these are not going to go in the trust, and we will talk about them in a different video. I also talk about in a different video why you would be placing these items into the trust as opposed to not. Thank you very much.